Welcome back to the channel. Today we have an epic unboxing of antiquarian proportions, if that makes sense. This I've been waiting for a while. I had to take my time and find the right one I can afford, within the right price range, within the right time frame. Well, you'll see. So let me get this started. Now, I'm a bit distracted because there's a strange glowing orb in the sky called the sun. Here on White Sand Island, we seldom see the sun, aka Northeast Ohio, in the winter, but the sun is out. Oh, well, here we go. So let's see, we got some popcorn. All right. Now, I knew it was in the box. I must be honest. So I even prepared some notes, because this kind of object that you're about to see can be looked at from a bunch of different ways, and it can be intimidating at times. All right, so let's see here. All right. Wow. Get that out of the way. Let's see what we got. Oh, a little more tape. This we gotta be really careful, because you don't want to damage the item. What's the item? Let's see. Oh, sweet. Whoa, hot tamale. Look at this. This is an antiquarian book, an antique book from the year 1676. 1676, can you believe that? This is a history book by Cornelius Tacitus entitled The Annals. It's a history book of Rome, basically. It was written, I have some notes prepared here, but first of all, let's look at this thing. It's bound in vellum. Vellum is this skin you see here. What kind of skin is it? It's typically calf skin or goat skin. It's not leather, because leather, I have antiquarian leather books, and the leather just kind of chips and flakes. The vellum, it holds up better in my opinion. So all you bookbinders out there, choose vellum. This is awesome. Check this out. I just got this obviously in the mail. Tacitus was a Roman historian and a senator. He's one of the most famed Roman historians. He lived, now here comes the notes, right? I can't pack it all in my brain chips. I gotta write some of this down. So he lived from 56 to 120 AD. So 56, so he was born about 26 years after the death of Jesus Christ, just to kind of give you like a perspective. This book is a historical account of the Roman Empire from the year 14 AD to 68 AD, or CE, Common Era. It covers the reign of Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero. And Tiberius, for those of you keeping score at home, was the emperor when Christ was crucified. Some of the text is lost to time. It's not complete. And there's now, what caught my attention to this book originally was, long story short about me, my brother died about a year ago, and I lost my faith. I became an atheist that bottomed out into an atheist that with nihilist tendencies. So I realized that wasn't the spot for me. So I was like looking for answers, and I'm like, well, was Jesus even a real person? Let me go back to just that question before we even talk about faith. Is he in the history books outside the Bible? And yes, he is, and he's in this book. So this is a Roman historian and senator that was not Christian. He was atheist or pagan. So written from outside of a sympathetic Christian perspective. If that makes sense, right? It's in the now the part about Christ is brief, but again, it accounts for a little portion of Jesus' life outside the Bible. Let's see, book 5. Now, can I find it in here? I mean, do I attempt to even do this? I wrote down book 15, chapter 44. That may take some time to find. This is in Latin, by the way, and it's published in Paris. Just to get a look at that again. So this is published 100 years before the United States. The United States became a country in 1776. This is 1676. It's incredible. I mean, it's just a gorgeous object in itself. I don't speak Latin or read Latin, so it's gonna, my Google Lens will become a magical device to peer into history. So this offered me, in my quest to refine my faith, an answer that Jesus Christ was an actual person, and then he must have been quite profound, otherwise we still wouldn't be talking about him. You know what I mean? But the faith part, that's up to you to fill in like that blank. If the way I kind of see it is, Jesus, okay, I can prove to myself, at least, that's all that really matters, because it's my life, right? Perspective. So I proved to myself that Jesus was a real person. Now, so that's 50% of the way. The other 50% of the way is going to be faith, and that's the part you don't see or find. You'll never find in a book, right? And if you find the answer in a book, leave me a comment. But this was enough for me to confirm that Jesus was a real person. Now, what does the account say? I kind of foreshadowed that I wouldn't be able to find it on the spot while recording this video. Look how cool this thing is. So I just took a photo of the text, English translation of the Latin, and I'll read it to you what it says. It's very brief. Christus, the founder of the name, was put to death by Pontius Pilate, procurator of Judea in the reign of Tiberius. But the pernicious superstition, repressed for a time, broke out again, not only through Judea, where the mischief originated, but through the city of Rome also, where all things hideous and shameful from every part of the world find their center and become popular. So that's an account from, critical account from the Roman historian and senator Cornelius Tacitus, who wrote this book. There's also a book that I conveniently have right here called The Histories of Tacitus, right here. This one was published in 1772 in Paris as well. Look at these gorgeous end pages. So he wrote those two books. Now some of the text is missing. This one is, so this is 1676, and this one is about 100 years later, just to kind of give you an idea of the book evolution, right? From leather, which you can see, this is a great time to show this. You see the leather, how it kind of just cracks and just kind of like crumbles to time. Whereas the vellum, being calf skin, which is like a young cow or a goat, it just holds up way better. You can open this and close it and it's not going to crumble. It just feels like, I don't know, beef jerky or something. So this is a gorgeous book. It's quite small. Does it have a book plate, like a name? I gotta be careful here. I don't want to force anything open and damage this book and be the doofus that ruined this book after it's being around for, 300 and some odd years or whatever. So that's a gorgeous antiquarian book that's helped me, or it's helping me in my quest to recapture faith and my love of history and antiquarian objects. I'm also an antique and vintage dealer professionally. So my love of antique and vintage items, my quest for historical knowledge and spirituality has kind of come together in this book to some extent. And I'll be very honest with you. Once I realized to myself that, okay, well, Jesus was a real historical person. We may not know a lot about him historically, but once I proved that to myself, I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I got a tattoo of the Sacred Heart of Jesus because his heart was real. The faith part, though, that's where you have to just find faith. You know, was he the Son of God, the divine in the human body? That's a profound mystery that if you have the answer to, please leave it in the comments. But I want to thank you for sharing this unboxing of this very gorgeous, very old book from 1676, the Annals, written by the Roman historian and senator Cornelius Tacitus. And as always, thank you for checking in.